Head CSR at Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. We welcome Dr. Lopamudra Priyadarshini, Assistant Vice President and Head of Community Relations and Sustainability at Hindalco Industries Limited. We welcome Mr. Ajay Sankhe, CEO at New Foods Private Limited. We welcome Ms. Priyam Dhamankar, Legal and Compliance Director, Company Secretary at Surveyor India Private Limited. We welcome Ms. Rekha Pillai, Head CSR at BP India. We welcome Ms. Riya Vaidya, Senior General Manager and Global Lead at Corporate Communications and CSR at VFS Global. Thank you all the dignitaries. Now I hand it over to Mr. Ketan Deshpande sir.
I would need some mics by that year for the panel discussion. If you have, you can just give it to us. But we have a very interesting panel, and they are coming from very diverse backgrounds, and some of our partners also, and some of them are doing very commendable work for our nation. Let me start with a question to Rekha Pillai ma'am. My question is straight in the minds of these young people: what job opportunities exist in the corporate social responsibility? Since this is before the lunch, I asked exactly what food they need. So what job opportunities are available?
Hello. So maybe I should talk about what job opportunities that are there across, not just CSR, because I started my career with finance. I was almost 50, I'm a chartered accountant. With 15, 20 years, I was doing finance, a hardcore controllership role, and then moved into CSR. And I believe that whether it is CSR, finance, HR, what is really key is, some of the earlier speakers really mentioned that, is seek knowledge, be agile, which means you should be ready to accept change, to continue to learn. The key important thing is not just to skill yourself, but to keep reskilling, upskilling. So you may also have to unlearn and relearn, and that's where the success is. So for me, my advice to you students would be to keep looking for opportunities. What you have today need not necessarily be there 5 years hence, but there'll be new roles which is coming up, new job opportunities which is coming up. Maybe when I started off my career in 2000s, there was no CSR as a role. The act came in 2014, and that's when the law came in, and that's when this entire role came into play. Probably there will be something similar coming in the next 5 years or 10 years, and you need to be ready for whatever it is, and which means having an agile mindset, having a way to think about how can you keep skilling yourself, failures is something that you need to always accept and step back and think what went wrong, how can I improve. And fourth, I may say, is about mental well-being. Being in a safe psychological space so that whatever comes in, you will be ready to accept it and work better for yourself. Thank you, Ketan. If I
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Rekha. And I want to share with the audience that we had Rekha in Hubli, where a lot of young students were there, and they were very inspired that in spite of studying in commerce and being a CA, she is currently the head of CSR of BP India. So quite a commendable thing, and a lot of girls were inspired by this fact. Thank you so much. My next question is to Dr. Lopamudra ma'am. I am passing the mic to you. Uh, and I want to share with you all that Dr. Lopamudra ma'am is also one of very inspiring initiatives, and we specially took our Orissa student, Orissa scholar, to pick her from the airport yesterday. And when she came here, she said, first thing, sir, I want to be like Dr. Lopamudra ma'am. So that is what the inspiration is. So the question is still valid. What job opportunities exist in the field of CSR?
Thank you, Ketan, and it's very kind of you to say so. How we relate with that girl is we both come from a very rural pockets of Odisha. From a tribal belt, she comes from Sundargarh and I come from Rayagada. The entire journey, she had been in the government schools and I had been there. And I told her yesterday that, if you want, you can, and if you want, you will.
Sure.
So this is the will and this is the can that has brought people like us to this platforms. I have traveled across the world, nationally, internationally, I had worked. That too coming from an Odia, very orthodox, Odias are very orthodox, and from the government Odia school I have managed to be here, and I told her that. And I agree with Rashmi as well, as she said, CSR came into picture in 2014. So there are a lot of opportunity. CSR is nothing but serving the people, keeping in mind the business goals, keeping in mind the business continuity and business sustainability. Beyond CSR, now we have moved to sustainability. Beyond sustainability, now we are moving towards the environmental social governance, that is ESG. So there is a vast world. At one point of time, universities didn't had a course of CSR. MCA started in ICP in CSR. Then a lot of universities are giving a specific MBA education and graduation in CSR as well. So it is going to come up in a big way, and you should be prepared to take up this challenge. You should, no matter what job you do, Ketan, I believe that you need to be passionate enough in what you want to do and what you are doing. If you don't have passion, just don't do it for a job or a work. You have to be passionate in no matter what field you are to. You want to become an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, go ahead with it, but you should be passionate to do it. And that would be my, words for these young minds those are here. Thank you.
Sure, and I want to say this, that Dr. Lopamudra ma'am, we have seen her speaking at various forums, and she is a doctorate, and I want to say that the PhD for her would be passion, hunger and discipline from the Orissa. That's what has been the journey which we have seen you. So thank you so much, ma'am.
And also I am doing my second PhD right now. So somebody asked me, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What motivates you? I said, I don't know. I just wanted to do it, to learn more. Hunger for, learning is what keeps me at the belly, fire in the belly, and which I think that is smashing nowadays in people.
Sure. And once our university comes in, I am going to say to all the CSR leaders that we will be giving the honorary doctorates, and you will be on the first radar for all of us. So thank you so much. So moving from the job opportunities, let me go to a question on integrating sustainability into educational projects. And we have Riya Vaidya, who also manages the communication as well as the CSR of VFS Global. And we are also, the Fuel is one of the CSR partners. So Riya ji, question to you, and the mic is yours.
Thank you, Ketan. What I feel is sustainability need not just be limited to education or educational projects, right? Sustainability is a very broad term, and generally when you're talking about any CSR projects or programs, that should be your essence. Like, how are you sustainable? What are you trying to do and work with the existing mechanisms and not to build a parallel mechanism, right? How are you building on the existing resources that are available to you? But at the same time, also look at the sustainability angle from an aspect where what happens when you're empowering those people. So if you have 50 beneficiaries, it's a small number, but how does that kind of create a ripple effect is something that you need to look at, right? As far as education programs are concerned, and because this question is related to that specific thing, I feel once you educate or skill somebody, how do you economically empower them to sustain themselves or come out of that poverty cycle is something that needs to be really thought through. So that's where the other partners who bring in the aspects from a job perspective or entrepreneurial perspective, that plays an important role.
Wonderful. And just to supplement this, I have an interesting question for you. You lead two portfolios, communication and CSR, and many of our students want to know how does this get balanced? This communication and CSR, how does this get balanced?
See, communications is something which runs across, right? If you're not a good communicator, you're not good at anything. In terms of my portfolio, it helps us to amplify what we are doing in CSR. So it's a hand-in-hand sort of a thing. And it's not just limited to communications, I would say, but at the same time, you're talking about sustainability. We just had a question in terms of, or somebody just mentioned about ESG, or my neighbor here, Priyam, who's actually doing compliance, or somebody like Rekha, who's been a finance professional. All these things come together when it comes to CSR, right? CSR is not just a standalone function, which is a job of one or two people in the company. But when you talk about sustainability and going beyond that, that's how the whole communications aspect come into play.
Thank you so much, Ria, and very interesting thought process. And let me move from one inspiration of the three speakers we had to the fourth inspiring personality. I was thinking I started Fuel at 19, that means it's very interesting, but Priyam started at 18, something which is into the world of teaching with political science, economics and general commerce, and she is right now the company secretary and legal compliance, and sometimes CSR, we also say company secretarial responsibility, but here you're actually the company secretary and doing a lot of CSR initiatives. So what kind of support you are seeking to implement from various organizations that you are looking for?
Right. Thank you. Thanks, Ketan, for that question. And what I would like to start with, of course, with happy birthday to you. Just a big round of applause for all this audience that is sitting here. They've been so attentive and so engaged. I've been seeing since the morning, and it's very good to see this energy. And like I mentioned also, I'm looking forward to absorb some of it when I go back.
And let me tell you one secret. We have given them an assignment to write all the thoughts and process of all the leaders, and they have to submit that assignment, and there are credit marks for that.
Wonderful.
Please give them a round of applause.
Round of applause. I really appreciate what I've been seeing since the morning and what you have been able to create here. And I think coming back to your question of what support do I need, I think for the audience, that will be a very technical thing to answer, but I'll try to connect with them by taking a few cues from your first two questions to start with. Students, just to tell you, when Ketan asked what opportunities exist in CSR, let me tell you, and Anurag will agree with me, 5 years or 10 years down the line, CSR is going to be a part of everything that you do in an organization. Everything that you do. If you are in supply chain, if you're in HR, if you're in planning, if you're in communication, and look at me, I am a lawyer by profession. And then from being a lawyer, I moved to being into compliance and ethics. And then of course, by profession, I'm a company secretary. So handling these three things together, that was not enough. And what motivated me was how could I make a difference being in a corporate to fuel my passion, which was working with communities, which was working with organizations like Fuel that make a difference, which was being able to get a chance to speak to all of you all who are already fueled and looking forward to a bright future today, right? So CSR, I think, is going to be a part of everything that we do soon. But then for professionals like you all who will settle down in organizations, I'm sure will get wonderful roles, in the organizations. You will go places. But the support, then I'll try to answer that from the perspective of what you will need from your organizations as a professional. So first and foremost, and what Anurag also mentioned, is there is a need of cohesiveness in everything that you do. So the first and foremost support that you'll need is the art of getting everyone together with you all. And you start that over here, which means that when you get assignments, when you get to work in groups, when you get to work in teams, the first thing that you will learn here is how to get the support from your teams internally in your organizations when you start working. So that will be your first step. Second step will be to learn from your organization what is the direction your organization wants to, what are the causes, what are the things that your organization really connects with, what is it that you connect with, and how do you bring it all together. And then of course you need the support of organizations like today, to bring this whole circle together so that you're working with a community that is, like you also answered, Ria, that is really feeding off each other. So one supports the other and the entire, ecosystem becomes sustainable. Last but not the least, I think what you mentioned, Lopamudraji, passion in all this is very important. So not to forget, the most important person whose support you will need is yourself, to be motivated, to keep yourself on track, to keep on seeing or getting the opportunities that come every day to you in form of whichever role that you're doing in that organization. And I think with all this support, we all can not just be a person who's employed in some organization, but be a part of, like you said, part of the larger community of the world, and the world is one ecosystem, right? So I wish you all the best, and thank you so much, Ketan, for that question. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Ria, you want to add something?
I just want to add to that, now that we're talking about the opportunities in CSR, I have my colleagues here. So there's Bhushita, who's a commerce graduate. Bhushita today leads the employee volunteering bit of it, and that's just the passion that kind of drives her to make a difference. There's Rinki. Rinki, say hi. She's a former journalist from an entertainment beat who's right now writing blogs or writing, the articles in terms of how sustainability actually empowers you or how businesses should be sustainable today. So that's, of course, of your CSR program that she writes a lot. Then there is Neha, who's been a long-term friend and a partner. She heads World Guru volunteering program, and she's been very passionately driving volunteering with a lot of partners. So what she does is bridges the gap between the need for volunteers with the NGOs and the corporates. So here are 3 live examples who are in front of you who had no vision or really never had thought of getting into CSR when they graduated or when they were in college like you. So yes, endless opportunities. All you need is passion, like Dr. Lopamudra just mentioned. And like what just Priyam also mentioned, is just believe in yourself.
Thank you so much. And I think very interesting analogy. We have a CA, we have a lawyer, we have a doctorate. So it is not necessary that what degree you take in education, you will follow the same occupation. So if you are doing business analytics PGDM in fuel, doesn't mean you will not go for marketing or HR or finance. So I see a lot of application come for me for business analytics, and I struggle to get finance application or HR application. So I have to motivate them for all the streams. So with your panel, I am been able to do that also. So thank you very much. Moving on, and I think we gave women empowerment a very big chance in this panel. With all the 4 speakers have spoken, and Gitanjali ji, we are making you little rest for some time. I will go to I will go to Ajay sir. Ajay sir has been a CEO of Nutritive Foods, and a very interesting domain altogether. I think there are a lot of things which you would also be seeing from the food industry process and everything. What is your message to young people, and what kind of support do you think young people need for getting into your industry or CSR?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. So Nutrivita Foods is the foods company into exports which sells malnourished food to UNICEF World Food Program. Just to tell you about, I have an engineering and management background, but my father made me a CSR executive back in 1992. He was
Wonderful.
a forest officer. So when we used to go to the small tribal villages in the jungles, he told me these are the types of trees. There is a nala bunding required. You see, if the water is there, in the nala bunding, it will drip into the earth, and then you can again redraw it. Okay, so these were the lessons, given to me by my father. So when the law came in 2014, and now we see the CSR, we have to do to good to sustainability, corporate social responsibility, good governance, ethics, compliance, all this. So what are the opportunities here into CSR? So there are so the opportunities is to the corporate side, funding to the CSR projects. So there is a CSR manager. What is the program to be funded? Why? And if you can implement that, then there is a implementation partner. There is a CSR implementation company which needs to have various certifications to implement. Then there is most important is the community. So because if you are connected to community, so for example, to the sarpanch, to the school headmaster, you are going to implement the project with right results. So the opportunities are with funding companies, corporates, implementation partners, and with the community. So if you have, you see, we all belong to villages. Everybody has a village. So if you take your village as a concept, you are MBA graduate, understand your MBA and understand your, marketing, sales, implementation, execution knowledge to your village. Float a project, wherein you can teach STEM education to rural children. You can teach, there are pregnant lactating women, nutrition project, there are paralyzed people. So many projects you can do with your village connect, and many villagers can get benefited.
Wonderful.
Then raise, you have a fuel group which has all those certifications. They will guide you, and so many thousands of projects can benefit thousands of villagers.
Absolutely. And I wish to share with all you students, we have a very interesting program called LEAD program, an Ignited Innovators of India program, where we encourage young students to participate in social projects. We do live internships with the social projects. And coming forward, we are also trying to do a PGDM in CSR, wherein we would need your expertise, and we would invite you to join our board of advisors for the CSR curriculum to happen.
Thank you.
So that's a good initiative we want to do. Moving ahead, I want to tell the students, we had a visit from TCS day before yesterday, and I asked everybody, which is your dream company? Everybody gave me some 10-15 company names, and suddenly I told them we have TCS. Everybody changed it and made TCS. So now I'm going to ask you, which is your dream company, because we have someone from Mahindra and Mahindra. So can I ask you the question, which is your dream company? I can't hear you. Which is your dream company? Okay. Let me go to Avilash ji, who's been doing some phenomenal work with Mahindras. And Avilash sir, we have seen you as a CSR veteran. My question to you is again, what kind of job roles, opportunities you are looking from young leaders about CSR?
Thank you. First of all, thanks to Fuel for giving this opportunity for me to be here on behalf of Mahindra and Mahindra. And really exciting for me is that whenever I get an opportunity to be among the youth, I always feel excited, and that yes, how can I contribute towards their growth and career and other things. And thanks again, Ketan, for that. Let me tell you, we share our camaraderie to many years. We are not into any kind of a CSR partnership, but this camaraderie has continued. I always look forward to the work which he shares with me about Fuel, and seen it grow step by step to become such a great institution of repute nationally and as well as internationally. Coming back to the question, I come from the hardcore CSR background. Let's forget terminologies, CSR, social development, community development, all that. My advice to all of you would be that in this sector is growing, CSR and sustainability put together. As a beginner, my advice to all of you would be to start from scratch and get into organizations where you get to learn how nuances of community development happens. What is important to understand in the sustainability space, that how important is supply chain management or responsible supply chain management, or how important it is to understand how do you optimize water utilization in your businesses, energy utilization in your business, or if you get into a not-for-profit, how important it is to understand the pain of raising funds. All of us sitting over here are on one side and Ketan is on the other side of the bank. No one can fathom what pain it takes to raise funds being a not-for-profit. I started my career from the not-for-profit sector and been on the other side of the fence. Community पे काम करना है, एक SHG group बनाना है. We always say 100 groups, 1000 groups. We want to reach out to 500,000, 1 million, number churning, है ना? एक ग्रुप बना के उसको स्टेबल करके बैंक से लिंक करके to see them that those entrepreneurs grow takes a period of 3 years. Many big companies who are into this, online companies from where we buy our products, still report losses even after being in this business for several years in this country. But एक SHG को अगर potato chip making सिखा दिया, अगले दिन से profit चाहिए. You get to learn this when you hit the ground, learn these nuances when you develop these things, because over a period of time when you grow, you are sensitive to the community and understand community issues much better. So whenever you work, be it in a corporate or be it with a not-for-profit, hit the ground first. अपने हाथ से चीजें सीखिए. There are various forums, platforms. I had two bright minds joining me right from the place where I started off, from Utkarsha and Sneha, from very humble background, and I had that conversation time of 1 hour with them till I reached here. One works as a business associate with my past company and your current company, Tata Power, in Mulshi, which is nearby in Pune district itself. But I could see the spark and the confidence in which they spoke. I asked, "Kaun se board se?" State board. But they were flawless when they spoke. I think within the 6 months or 9 months time of the association with Fuel, I could see that energy and spark in them. Now coming back, if you have to get in, opportunities bahut hain, but you have to decide where you want to get into. Before you evolve yourself as a professional to understand various domains within CSR and sustainability, you need to understand what's your forte, what you want to get into. किसी को एक superb communicator हो सकता है, like she said. तो आप लोगों के बीच जाके बात करके कन्विंस कर सकते हैं लोगों को. You can mold people to think and align to what your thinking is. If that be your strength, you can get into networking. But if you want to make things happen, you are more technical in nature and you understand other things. You are very gung-ho about data analytics and other things. That is also equally important. But try to get into various other things and move, be it in a corporate, be it in not-for-profit sector, or be it a social entrepreneur. We see so many social startups coming up. Many made it to the Shark Tank also.
Yes.
क्या पता आप लोग में से कोई कल यहीं बैठा और मैं उधर बैठा हूँ आपको सुनते हुए. It can happen. It can very well happen. Just you have to believe in yourself.
That's a very interesting point.
कभी हम भी वहीं थे, हम भी सुनते थे. 20-30 साल पहले की बात है. That journey will definitely happen, but try to understand where you want to get into. I started off my career working with the grassroots level organizations, first understanding what it takes. चिलचिलाती धूप की गर्मी में watershed project की नपती करना क्या होता है.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it.
Thank you so much, sir. And I want to just ask you a question. How many of you are from supply chain, if anyone? Raise your hand. Anyone in supply? This is not the code. How many from finance? Finance? Few hands. How many from HR? Okay. How many from marketing? Okay. How many from business analytics? Ah, okay. So understood. How's the audience? And so when Sir said about the Shark Tank, I think you clapped immediately and instantly, and I could sense what's the specialization. So definitely we'll give you this chance next. But moving on to our final speaker of the panel, Gitanjali ji, thank you so much for joining us from all the way. I think Tata Power has the power. And it has so much power that if you change your equation of the bills, or electricity shoots up. So the power is in your hands, and I'm sure you're also looking at some power from the young students. So what kind of skills or power you're looking from these young minds in your area?
So thank you so much, Ketan, and first of all, once again, happy birthday, and thank you for inviting me here. I'm very thankful because I'm able to catch up with few of my ex-colleagues, and it is really always wonderful. Tata Power, definitely we are working for, we are basically in Delhi and providing electricity in northwest part of Delhi. The irony of CSR is that, Ketan, that when you are into any supply chain or any factory or even in power, we calculate SEDI, SEFI, billing efficiency, collection efficiency, but in CSR it is very difficult. Whenever somebody talks that what is your indicators, how it is improved, what is the numbers, it's always very difficult to tell people that behavioral change is the most difficult thing. So when you're working in CSR domain, empowering people is not easy, and it's not that in a year you will be able to calculate that it was at 80% and now it's going to be 90%. So that is one thing. So when you are going to opt for any of the profession, I really give you advice based on my experience only. Maybe you may differ from that. Please be very, very true to yourself. That is what is your strength is. Do not do it that some of your friends have shared that CSR में बहुत scope है, analyticals कर लीजिए, you will get a job, etc., etc. Because after down the line 4 to 5 years, you feel so bad about yourself, and you start cursing yourself because you will not enjoy. So the most important thing that please follow your passion, whatever it is. If it is a CSR, it is a compliance, it is a law, anything. You have to be very duly assured yourself that this is what your passion is, you are meant for. I'm an IT graduate, did my MBA, and I will not say that fortunately or unfortunately I choose for myself is CSR. So for in CSR domain, there are n number of things, as rightly said my colleagues, that everything will be in and around CSR in down the line 5 to 10 years. So whatever you choose, be very open for that, be very innovative, ready to pilot new things, because none of the those old age practices, none of them are ready to take over. The most important that how innovative you are. So even though if we talk about scholarship, we talk about any vocational training, we talk about any women empowerment, SHG, units, anything, but what innovation you are bringing to the table or you are giving back to your organization. That is what is going to make a difference. So please do not go only for that you want to join TCS, you want to join Mahindra, Tech Mahindra, Capgemini, anything.
You can also join Tata Power.
Tata Power too, Tata Group, I must say. I will not see it in a different segment, I see Tata Group. People always look at you for new ideas. What new ideas you are bringing to the table and how passionate you are. Giving an idea is not that much important. It is more important that how you are going to achieve that idea and going to implement that idea at ground, because that is the most toughest thing. So create your own passion, be it anything, HR, finance, CSR, compliances, and try to learn new practices instead of following the old age practices. What is happening in and around, what Tata Group is doing, what Reliance Group is doing, what other groups are doing. You know, there are a number of groups and they're doing wonderful work. So how we are going to understand their work and how we are going to collaborate together, because a person or an organization cannot change entire world. Now, next buzzword would be more into collaboration, and that is what we are looking forward, that how we can collaborate with our existing resources and bring more change. I think Fuel is also doing the same thing. So if we'll look at that way, we have to be very open-minded how we are going to collaborate, what is my strength and what is my partner's strength, how we can collaborate together. And again, everybody would look forward for a win-win situation.
Yes.
So it's not only the partner or the NGO or the corporate or the society, even when you are going for the community, community also look forward that what they are going to get out of it. What is the win-win situation for them? So always create a win-win situation and come up with a new and innovative ideas. That is what I share with you, and I think all of you have lot of capabilities. I meet few of your students today. They are very passionate, and I also remember my college days when we are also look forward that ये speaker तो कितना अच्छा बोल रहे हैं, ये तो कहाँ कहाँ पहुँच गए हैं, हम कब जाएंगे, all those stuff. So I share that कोशिश करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती और लहरों से डरकर नौका पार नहीं होती. So if you have a willingness, you want to do it, you will.
Thank you so much. And Gitanjali ji had a very anecdote that she liked all our students whom she connected. So thank you very much for that compliment. And I just want to ask you, audience, question: how many of you did winter internship in CSR or anything? How many of you did anything? Okay, there's a lot of people.
Big round of applause.
Big round of applause.
Wow.
So they are very much interested in doing a lot of good work for the society, and that's the new generation which we are seeing, that they choose companies not only on the pay packages, but also on what kind of social responsibility that company and brand is doing. I think these new young managers are looking at that kind of opportunity. And what an interesting panel we had. We had all the insights, and the common thread which I can draw from all of them was this: if you want to climb a mountain, what do you need? What do you need? Strength, okay? Energy. Okay? But you're right, somebody said you need a mountain first. So exactly, to do the CSR, you really need a heart first. And I think that's what all of them have in place. And that is why they are doing so much phenomenal work. Dear students, dear next managers, young leaders, please give them a round of applause for joining us all the way. And I'm just going to do a quick for our CNBC Media Bite. They have requested me to do your names once again. So I'm doing that. We have Rekha Pillai, the head CSR BP India. Please give a round of applause to her. We have Rotarian Dr. Lopamudra Priyadarshini from Hindalco Industries Limited. Please give her a round of applause. We have Ria Vaidya ma'am from the VFS Global team. Thank you, and please give her a round of applause. Then we have Priyam Dhamankar from Servier India. Please give her a round of applause. Then we have Avilash Divedi ji from Mahindra & Mahindra. Please give him a round of applause. Then we have Ajay Sanke sir from Nutrita Foods. Please give him a round of applause. And we have Gitanjali Tripathi ji from Tata Power. Please give her a round of applause. One interesting thing, you said Tata Power and you said Delhi. So we related to Bijli Free. So, but since we are in Pune, we don't have Bijli Free yet, but hoping that that happens in 24. With all this panel, I want to ask one question to all of you. What do you want to know from them? Anyone? If you given a chance to ask a question to them, what is your question? Anyone who raises hand gets the internship probably. Please raise your hand. Anyone? Not willing? Hungry? Yes, I see some students there. Yes, you can ask. Yeah. You cannot ask Riya Vaidya any visa related question because she cannot give you US appointment. That is what the disclaimer she's saying. Yes. Our intern from IBM, you can ask the specs, the first row. Nisha behind you. Let him ask the question. I just pointed him out. Come. Give him the mic or you come here. And let me take one student randomly from there who is sitting on the second row, third. Please come. And you are forced to ask a question, then only you will get the credits, okay? Go ahead.
So thank you, sir, for giving the opportunity. So the Tata Power, how they what they majorly they choose for the candidate, and which kind of they used to from students they used to choose the company.
सीधा job चाहिए, बता दो job मिलेगा क्या? That's the question.
Indirectly same, sir.
Yeah, I think for all Tata Group companies, I will not say only for Tata Power. First, the prime most importance is the willingness of the candidate, how passionate that person is for any of the job role. Second, how they are aligned with the ethics and other practices, which is basics of Tata Group, if you see. And the most important, that what value that student is bringing to the organization, because we believe in diversity and inclusion, and we always welcome such students who are really willing to contribute for the organization. So I think that's one thing apart from your degree, definitely. Marks is also, I will not say very important, but definitely a criteria for going ahead for the interviews and other examination. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And one question from the women power, girl power. Damble sir, please choose one random aptitude score and ask the question. Yes, somebody is raising also. Go ahead. Yes, Smriti, go ahead. Yes, Smriti, I have been told by Vilas sir that you will get extra credits because you proactively raised your hands. And let me tell you, she is one of the topper of our business school. Go ahead.
And I have done specialization in HR. So my question is, my goal is to go for CSR, which, so where can I start from the ground level? Because I don't have that kind of networking which you have. So I have the question that how can I start from the ground level?
I think the internship is the best place to start with. So right now, while you are in college and doing your studies, this is the best time to participate in programs. And Ketan has, a lot of his corporates are working with him on our programs. We'd be really happy to see you here working on our programs as well.
Yes.
And I think, and keep building your CV, and then you can apply to any of the organizations.
Can I also add something? So, nowadays with the power of internet and the connections that are available, just Google search on your own. There are many organizations which are actually actively looking out for volunteers. And it doesn't have to be institutionalized, like you as an individual can do it. So for me, as a part of my organization, of course, I do CSR, but I do my volunteering, partnering with an organization as an individual as well. So if you pro bono, which means that you're not affiliated with them for a salary or anything, but just because you asked ground level, right? And ground level is fun when there is no quid pro quo. That means you are only depending on your inner motivation to do certain things, right? So that's the best ground level work. So do this research. You'll be surprised to find many organizations which are connecting individual volunteers with projects, short-term projects, long-term projects, and then they can really help you learn a lot.
I also add, I think Abhilash also can add on to this. We at Tata, we also have a Tata Engage platform where we invite volunteers to contribute with their skill, whatever they have. So we assign a 6-month to 1-year project, and a student and the volunteers and the spouse of our employees can contribute and handhold any of the organization and skill or the student. It's a huge bouquet you can pick up as per your strengths, and you can be with those NGO partners and the teams, and you can contribute. And it's really a very wonderful opportunity. Once you complete, you also get a certificate from the organization that you have contributed these many hours based on your skills. So a number of skills are there. If you are good at finance, you can contribute for finance. You are good at report writing, you can contribute to that area. So it's a huge opportunity. And we also look forward for volunteers, because our majority of the CSR programs are volunteering based. And we not only invite our employees, we also invite their family members and our ex-employees as well, and their neighboring areas to contribute for any cause during 2 months in a year. So that's how we create awareness among the people that volunteering is really important. Even though you are doing any of the profession, if you start doing volunteering and you are willing to do it, Tatas have lot of opportunity for the same. Avilash, would you like to add? Yeah.
एक चीज़ है कि what kind of roles or what kind of aptitude you have for a particular kind of a job. People are very comfortable looking at data analytics, research, uh, talking about making report writing, communication. Okay. Some people are very much gung-ho about hitting the ground and working at the ground level. Okay. ग्राउंड लेवल वाले को रिपोर्ट मांगो तो वो मतलब पहाड़ जैसा टूट पड़ता है, पर उसको बोलो कि 10 गांव में जाके घूम के लोगों के साथ बातचीत करके कुछ प्रोजेक्ट को इम्प्लीमेंट करे, दिल डू इट. रिवर्स हो जाता है जब जिसको एनालिटिक्स और डेटा रिसर्च करने की आदत है उसको बोलो फील्ड में जाके काम करो तो वो जल बिन मछली वाला हाल होता है. प्रायोरिटाइज व्हाट्स योर एप्टीट्यूड इज. ओके, बट इफ यू वांट टू बिकम अ लीडर, having both knowledge and experience of both the aspects is important. You may start off with one of them. It doesn't happen that at a fresher level, what in Mahindra & Mahindra, when I interview people or in my past wherever, I don't ask experience-based questions to a fresher. What we try to ask is how that individual, be it a boy or a girl, has been sincere about their academics and how they have been very honest in doing their internships. इंटर्नशिप में अगर कुछ किया है, तीसरे से चौथे सवाल तक पता चल जाता है कि इंटर्नशिप की सीरियसनेस क्या थी या पिछले रिपोर्ट की कट कॉपी पेस्ट थी. लेट मी बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट. ठीक है, ओगिलवी आउटरीच में जब मैं पहली अपनी ज़िंदगी का इंटर्नशिप किया था गोरखपुर, देवरिया, बस्ती, यूपी के इलाके में, 90 गांव जाने के लिए या तो कोई जुगाड़ वाली गाड़ी में जाना पड़ता था आज से 25-30 साल पहले. आज तो वेल कनेक्टेड हैं हम लोग, मोबिलिटी सोल्यूशंस आ गई हैं. वी वोंट टेक द क्रेडिट, बट बोलेरो हेल्प्स कनेक्ट द लास्ट माइल. बट हाउ डू यू रीच आउट? Today he has been able to get so many organizations together who will, and going forward let me also work out something with Ketan that we will try to establish mentorship by connecting our employees to some of your students, both in the BBA course as well as in the PGDM course, so that we help you out in being a mentor. Not that it would ultimately lead to help you getting a job offer or anything, but no, making you job ready equally is important, where we share our experience. Okay. And secondly, internship opportunities. We have many projects in CSR which we are doing in and around Pune. So if not all, some of you show interest and whom we can absorb, we'll provide you with that kind of a practical field exposure going forward with an assignment that iska research karke, data analyze karke, let us know independently what you think about this program and what are the areas where you want us to improve. What Anurag said in the beginning, let's celebrate also failures. है ना? Skilling project में 80% से कम अगर होता है placement, then that's not a good skilling program. That's not the case. Even 40% is quite an remarkable achievement. Understood?
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for support, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And I think I want to share with you, Fuel has the Bolero cars to pick the students, and we have the bus of Tata for the sending the students back. So with that positive note, and we have energy with the BP, and our students are going to take VFS services for the internship, and we are and we are going to always have nutritious foods from the Nutrita company. And Lopamudra ji, we are going to do the Turisa, and we'll take all the legal permission and compliance from Priyam ma'am in her personal volunteering capacity. So with that positive note, we all go for respective lunches, and my anchor will announce where are we. But this was the CSR panel, and I want to give you the next glimpse. The next one is your direct panel, where you can directly ask, sir, when can I get the job? Because that's the HR panel, and we have a very, so today is a day where you have to, and my fuel students, I've told them they're going to have upas today if they want the quick HR panel to attend. Anyways, they are going to make the lunch happen quickly for you, and we all will move to the respective announcements as given by the anchor, and we all panelists move to the fourth floor. Thank you so much. Please give them once again the round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Now it's a time to build some happiness together. A guest lunch for industries, college and universities and fuel staff is arranged on 4th floor round table. For IIPM students, it is in canteen. For KB Joshi Institute and PVPIT student, it is in 4th floor second block. And all the fuel students including VVS, FBS school, impact batch students, please have your lunch on 1st floor old library. Thank you. Please everyone go from the back side.